What we've got here is a Scag Tiger Cat that at some point caught on fire. What we have here is a new to me Husqvarna commercial zero-turn mower. Now she's an older unit with about 1,300 hours, but for 600 bucks, a fella couldn't pass up a good deal on a zero-turn. However, she's lacking in a few areas. Rollover protection, she needs a little more front weight on the front end because she's touch light, and there's a couple other gadgets and gizmos I'm thinking about putting on it. Here's a nice rollover protection unit that I think with a little bit of fabrication we can get to work on that unit. She's got a counterweight on the back that I think we can get to work on the front. And it's got a whole lot of other components that I'm going to try to take off here and salvage for future projects which were talked about. It is a nasty rainy day. The shop is stacked front to back with rain day projects. In order of priority, let's get started on making a cool zero turn out of a decent used one and this thing. So if you're new to the channel, you know we're a run what you brung operation. We make stuff work with what we have. Although I have to say, pretty luxurious to be inside on a rainy day. Stuff we're going to salvage off this that we're not using on the immediate project, we're just going to go through. Like this steel, that costs money if a fellow were to buy that. We're saving that. We're going to go through and just strip it down, see what we can salvage off of it, and then see what we need to make work for the one we got. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot going on. There's just all these linkages and bolts and things that could just be the coolest on something, somewhere. I mean, you know how much you'd have to pay if you go buy something like that? What would I use it for? I don't know. Let's see if we can get this spring walked off here without dying. I feel like that was kind of close to dying. You never know when you need a good spring. That's why I have a box fully dedicated to springs. Oh, 2 boxes. Nice. Adjustable linkages. That's money right there, man. It's either money or something my kids can sell, you know, later on in life at an auction whenever they say, where did Dad get all this? So I'm sure a ton of you guys already watched Neil Kof at Neil Kof Dig Drive DIY. Man does awesome stuff. In my very humble opinion, probably one of the best channels on YouTube. Got distracted by a spring clip here. Watch your eyes. Anyway, Neil has these box drags that he had in his channel. And then he worked with a company that provided some box drags, and then he gave one away. And I know I'm saying box drag, but he calls it something else. Pull behind grater box, I believe. I've been wanting to build one because it just looks like the handiest thing. And call me crazy, but with the casters in this frame, once everything's off, aren't we kind of looking like a good start to that? I mean, maybe I'm nuts, but I don't know, maybe there. Either way, I think we're looking at a good start to that. How'd you do this, Scag? What kind of magic trick? Aha. I've just spent enough time making little brackets that I know that saving little things like this, even though I'll catch a little flack for it, is just worth it. I think this was probably the battery box. And it's going to turn into the bolt box, I believe. If we can get it out. Who designed this? Does anybody know what I did with my little channel locks? Anybody? Right here, the whole time. The whole time. Not enough clearance for this to come out. No kidding. That's wild. Well, I reckon we might as well just go ahead and take the wheel off then. Got the jack set up as sketchy as possible. 20 tons. I hope it's enough. I mean, that tire still holds there. No, I need you to... Okay. There we go. Well, it's going in the trash pile for sure. A fella just likes a good bracket. Oh yeah. Now I lost the channel locks again, fellas. Could you guys see him in the frame the whole time? Whole time. Let's go let her flop, I think. Very nice. It's probably good to go ahead and get rid of the safety switches here. I think they're doing much good for anybody. Well, yeah. That'll probably do it. Rim's in good shape yet, though. If a fella put a new tire on. Trying to get the belt off now. Does that look loose, the engine? Do I have everything? Will it go up through there? Oh, yeah. Oh gosh. Whew. Well, that was close. Yep, she's loose. That's the good news. Okay. Kind of cracker barrel puzzle we got going on here. Oh. There she goes. So on the hydraulic pumps here, there's a nut there and a nut there, but they just free spin right now because the bolt is on the back side of that pulley. All right, I got the kickstand up. We're just gonna, oh, do I have enough weight to do this? Come on. Didn't really want to go that way. I want to just flip it over is what I want to do, but. Watch your toesies. There we go. Let's see if we can get her upside down in a little bit more of a controlled manner now. Oh, that's a lot better. Just want to go straight back. And just let it fall on the ROPS. Because that's what it's made for. It's coming off pretty easy with the puller. I'm sure I'm messing up that pulley just a little bit. But I think that's okay. How long is this thing on the shaft? There it goes. There we go. Now with the pulley off, we'll be able to slide that through the hole and got access to the bolts here. Here's the trick. We need to not drop them. we go. Pull it here. So these are hydraulic pumps. The pulley that's on there, obviously it spins around, creates hydraulic pressure. They're connected to this linkage would have been facing this direction, which is connected up to the handle on the zero turn, and that's just acts like a valve. It either sends the fluid one direction or the other, forward or reverse. These down here are the motors. I'd like to get those off as well. He was kind of wanting those, and well, I'm just up for the challenge, and I need them off of this steel if I plan on using this for anything. Now, I'm not 100% sure about if the way I'm doing this is right, but these are breaking free with a wrench. I'm going to take these nuts loose all the way around. I dug through my door of tricks, and I've got this cut down 3/4, and I'm hoping, yeah, I was afraid of that. There we go, though. Downfall when it's cut down doesn't have as much strength, but fits in there. And that appears to be coming loose now. That's good. I mean, you can't get a socket on the back side because of the way it's sitting there. So there's no bolts attached all the way through. And that's part of the brake assembly. Super stable. And then it just pulls out the top like that. I don't know why I thought it was going to be more complicated. So I'm going to get this cleaned up just a little bit. So we got this frame that's going to be ours to keep. We got this set of casters on the frame, which is going to be awesome for building a little box drag. And we got a ton of little brackets and hardware and stuff like that. And the big thing that I really wanted from the rip was that rollover protection system. So I feel like we're getting our time's worth out of this thing. I think for starters, I just need to set it on there and see how she fits. Okay. Actually, it would fit perfect just like that. What is this bar? How important is this? It's engine protection. We could reroute that. So that's centered, and honestly, oh gosh, aside from that disaster, it fits in there pretty well. This was the bracket that was on the Scag, obviously. I'm thinking cutting here, leaving that plate on, cutting that off, and welding that over there on that. Well, we're just gonna try some torch work here. I'm not the best at it, but we're gonna see what happens. So the idea, we're gonna have to take this bottom piece off too while we do it, is that that's gonna slide in there. Move this throttle cable. That's gonna slide in there, tight against that, and we can weld that plate onto the bottom of that and weld this to there too. I think we're gonna have to do a little bit more trimming on it, but that's okay. Welcome to my cutting station. Very fancy shop here, in case you haven't noticed. Just top of the line. So that's gonna go right in there like that. Throttle cable out of the way, and then we'll move that bottom bracket. I want to weld here, weld on the inside, inside, and all the way around that. So in an amazing comedic event, my bolts are too long to fit between there and there. So we're just gonna make them what they need to be and then trim that little bit off. They're barely too long. So we'll just trim them up a bit. I do want to clean these up a little bit. I'm not too worried about the top, but these bottom legs, while we got good access to them, we'll just take a wire wheel, run over it real quick, clean them up, and a little bit of primer and paint. So this is what that counterweight on the back bolted to. And I'm trying to envision a way that I can cut and weld that on the front somewhere and then bolt that onto it so that it rests flat on the metal that's already there and bolts up like that. I don't hate that. Then maybe we could get one bolt through there or something. So I went ahead and got one coat of black paint on it. Doesn't look too bad. I'm going to hit it with the second coat, then we'll get the battery hooked up and get it weaseled in just enough so that if the rain does come, we can do the little detail work I want to do up there. I want to come up with a way to raise and lower that chute without me getting off the seat. Something simple but fun, you know? Something that says this fella has a bunch of linkages. He just took off another mower. Why else would he use so many? You know, something like that. It really only work well if a fella has a seatbelt, and I don't have a seatbelt, but my number one concern is the front kicks up, rolls over backwards, and rolls onto me. At least this way, it hopefully won't go all the way over. Gives me a little bit more time to do some kind of squirrel move out of there, you know? It's gotta be better than nothing. So here's the last thing on this round of modifications to this thing, because I got a couple other things I'd like to do to make it mine. This is handy. That was loud. The previous owner, the fella, he built this out of some steel. It's a nice steel deck. He's got a piece of rubber right here, so whenever it rides on that and you're riding, it doesn't vibrate real bad. It just kind of rides on that rubber. It does a really good job, and I like it. But whenever I'm mowing taller grass, we keep it up. We all understand how these chutes work, right? The thing is, right now, I got to reach down and grab it, and I want to rig something up to where I can flop that up and down from the seat. I'll be honest, I got some other stuff on my mind right now, so I'm just going to start putting holes in things and seeing where it takes us. We're going to have to... I didn't think about that, did I? It's got a swivel on there too. I need a plate on the end of that. So I need to take a piece of this flat stock that came off that Scag. And I need a hole big enough for that pin to fit in. We'll just have to re-drill down here. Okay. And we'll just cut that off like it never happened. Okay. And we'll trim to shorten this up just a little bit, and we'll weld that on the side of it. Someone remind me that handle's hot whenever I get to that part. Okay. I'm gonna forget. Trim just a little bit off so that washer fits better, but we're getting pretty close here. Hot. Okay. Let's use an extension of our body. Foot operated, right? Down here by the foot. Foot operated. Now that is fancy. So now all I gotta do is come up with a bracket to hold this fella here. Just gotta do some minor adjustments here. That should do it. That's pretty good. It's not bad though. Rain. Wouldn't you believe it? So I actually just made some minor adjustments in this linkage, and I think I'm going to make a couple more adjustments on this linkage here. Got an idea of this spring here. Let's see if it works the way I want it to. Look at that. Come on, man. What do you work for, NASA? That makes me so happy. You think all the people that sent me nastygrams that said they're leaving the channel because I started a Patreon because I was going to get too uppity, you think this is what they were talking about? Is it too fancy? It's too fancy, isn't it? Yep. I knew it. It all went straight to my head. Doggone it, bud. I'll be real honest. I was really hoping to be able to say next video back on the truck to get everything painted. I've been hoping to say that for the past 5 or 6 videos, or getting the wheelhouse on the YouTube yacht. But the rain, it's just been wild this spring. We just haven't had a sunny spell longer than 2 or 3 hours. It's just been rain like this. So we're actually going to be back in. The shop. We're going to be on the 755. We're going to start getting it torn down, the engine pulled out, the wheels pulled off, the 3-point. We got some stuff we got to do. It needs some love and attention. That's going to be the next step. I can't complain. I'm lucky enough to have this building that I can do some work on a rainy day. I'm really itching to get that thing driving though, you know? I mean, can't thank you guys enough for watching. I will never get used to the fact that people are willing to take time out of their day to watch what we're doing on this channel. It's unreal to me, and I'm incredibly grateful. That's the thesaurus paying off. Catch you on the next one.